Hi, my name is Diana Estrada, and I am going to read to you today The Three Little Javelinas, written by Susan Lowell and illustrated by Jim Harris. The Three Little Javelinas. Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were three little javelinas. Javelinas are wild, hairy, Southwestern cousins of pigs. Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs all the way down to their little hooves were very hairy. But their snouts were soft and pink. One day, the three little javelinas trotted away to seek their fortunes in this hot, dry land. The sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forest grew. Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where the path divided, and each one went on their different way. The first little javelina wandered lazily along. He didn't see a dust storm whirling across the desert until it caught him. The whirlwind blew away and left the first little javelina sitting on a heap of tumbleweeds. Brushing himself off, he said, "I'll build a house with them." And in no time, he did. Then along came a coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of the coyote's many magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and smelled the javelina inside. A tender, juicy piggy, he thought. Coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbits. He called out sweetly, little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," shouted that first javelina, who had a lot of hair on his chin, by the way. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said Coyote. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew that little house tumbleweed away. But in all the hullabaloo, the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brother and his sister. Coyote was very sneaky, so he tiptoed along behind him. The second little javelina walked for miles among the giant cactus plants called saguaros. They held their ripe red fruit high in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew very hot. Then he came upon a Native American woman who was gathering sticks from inside a dried up cactus. She planned to use these long sticks, called saguaro ribs, to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little javelina said, "Please, may I have some sticks to build a house?" "How," she said, which means yes, in the language of the desert people. When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade, and then his brother arrived, panting from the heat. And the second little javelina moved over and made a place for his brother. Pretty soon, Coyote found the saguaro rib house. He used his magic to make his voice sound like another javelina. Little pig, let me come he called, but the little Javelinas, they were suspicious. The second one cried, "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Bah," thought Coyote, "I am not going to eat your hair." And then Coyote smiled, showing all of his sharp teeth. "I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'm gonna blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed, and sure enough, all the saguaro ribs came tumbling down. But the two little Javelinas escaped into the desert. Still not discouraged, Coyote followed anyway. Sometimes his magic did fail, but then he usually came up with another trick. The third little Javelina trotted through beautiful palo verde trees with green trunks and yellow flowers. She saw a snake sliding up, smooth as oil. A hawk floated round and round above her. And then she came to a place where a man was making adobe, bricks from the mud and straw. The bricks lay on the ground baking in the hot sun. And the third little Javelina thought for a moment. And she said, "May I please have a few adobe bricks to build a house?" "Sí," answered the man, which means yes in Spanish. That was the bricklayer's language. So the third Javelina built herself a solid little adobe house, cool in summer and warm in winter. And when her brothers found her, she welcomed them in and locked the door behind them because Coyote followed their trail. Little pig, let me come in," he called creepily. The three little Javelinas looked out the window. This time Coyote pretended to be very old and weak with no teeth and sore paw, but they were not fooled. "No, not by the hair of our chinny chin chin," called the third little Javelina. "Then I am going to huff and puff and blow your house in," said Coyote, and he grinned, thinking of the wild pig dinner that was to come. "Just try it," shouted the third little Javelina. So Coyote huffed and he puffed, but the adobe bricks did not budge. Again, Coyote tried. "I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," he said again. And the three Javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The Javelinas peeked out the window. The tip of Coyote's raggedy tail whisked right past their noses. He was climbing on the tin roof. And next, Coyote used his magic to make himself very skinny. "The stovepipe," gasped the third little Javelina, and quickly she lighted a fire inside her wood stove. "Ooh, what a feast this will be," Coyote said to himself. He squeezed into the stovepipe. "I think I'll eat them with red hot chili sauce." Whoosh! Sizzle. Then the three Javelinas heard an amazing noise. It wasn't a bark. It was not a crackle. It was not a howl. It was not a scream. But it was all of those sounds together. Yip, 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 yo! And away ran a puff of smoke, shaped like a coyote. The three little Javelinas lived happily ever after in their adobe house. And if you ever hear Coyote's voice way out in the desert at night, well, you know what he's remembering. The end.